Hey, this is Dan
and Bob
from GigaBoots.com. Welcome to day 2 of E3, when you count day 1 as EA's thing, 2017.
And really, this is day -2, I think, still, for
Yes.
E3 to doors open.
Yes, but we're here to talk about the conferences today. The conferences we watched were Microsoft's, Bethesda's, and Devolver Digital's. Now, the bulk of this is us going to be talking about Microsoft because the other two don't have as much to talk about by a lot.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but you know, let's I'll have timestamps in the description for you to click. So if you want to skip the Microsoft thing, you can go right ahead to listen to us talking about Bethesda or Devolver Digital.
Or we can just give you a preview now. It was trash.
What? No, no spoil. No, Bob. Spoilers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I disagree with you. They'll have to listen all the way until then to find out. On day 2 of E3, my cold isn't preventing me from podcasting. We'll see how that goes on day 3.
Right?
But yeah, okay. Let's do it. Let's talk about the Microsoft conference.
Get hype. Like all those audience members in the front row that were wearing all those audience members, quotation marks, in the front row that were wearing Xbox shirts.
Yeah.
That say, I witnessed the
birth of the Lord and Savior Xbox One X.
Yes.
Which is the name now.
Uh-huh. The
Xbox One X.
I just want some of that X.
You gotta take. Are you hooked on X?
Yeah.
You need that X?
Uh-huh.
Do you know a guy who could get me that X?
No, that's a real problem.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, yeah, it's called Xbox One X. They find new ways to just make their names worse and worse.
They really do.
Because X sounds so much like S. Even during the conference, like when people were talking under the sound of the conference, people misunderstood each other. Just saying X and S sound similar.
Yeah, it's basically the two closest sounding letters in the English language, probably.
I think T and D are the only closer ones, and but in any case, and N and M, and they never would have called it Xbox One N and Xbox One M. Everyone would have been like, what were you thinking? Yet somehow, with S and X, everyone let it slide.
It looked good on the documentations. I mean, X associated with their brand, with Xbox.
Yeah, the marketing department had a billion bullet points that make no sense and don't matter ultimately for why they should do it. Just like Wii U made sense to Nintendo.
Right, jeez.
This is going to be such a clusterfuck.
And they also announced price.
Yeah, the price is $4.99, so they did wait until the end. They did wait till the end to say it, so it built a little bit of tension of, are they just gonna shit up the whole conference in retrospect even more? And yeah, they came out and rolled out the same specs that they talked with Digital Foundry about earlier this year: 4K, HDR, wide color gamut.
Yeah, nothing. No surprises there.
326 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth, 16 nanometer processor, and a vape chamber for you to get lit while playing Reaper.
I'm sure that's why it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that means the Xbox One X will support the higher res Overwatch GUI?
I don't think that has anything to do with hardware. I think that depends on when the people who make Overwatch decide to hit like scale HUD update. Like it's
a very advanced feature.
For those who don't know. For those who don't know, on the PS4 Pro, the HUD in Overwatch is 4K. The game is 1080p on a Pro.
Yep.
What?
It makes sense, man. It's just so good.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. You know what does make sense, though? Opening on Forza. That was the safest bet anyone could have made.
Yeah, it kind of got some people's hopes up, because it was like just a desert. It looks like, oh man, this could be a new IP or something.
And then it shows someone walking, and it's like, oh man, what's with that weird outfit? It's not like crazy sci-fi or Mad Max. I don't get it. And then there's a car, and people are like, oh, they're driving. They're just
Oh, it's just Forza. I knew this was real. Everyone already knew.
And they're like, look at these rock walls. Isn't it pretty? And it's like, yeah. How does it look on the original? Just out of curiosity.
Look, that's gonna look just fine. The only difference is 4K. We promise.
Sure. Okay.
How's it run on, or what runs it on the original Xbox One?
Yeah.
Is it 720?
Yeah, probably. Who knows? Oh man, I didn't even think about them making their own games not even run at 1080p on the original one, on the Xbox One. Jesus. Oh man. So yeah, Forza's not my thing. Forza hasn't really. I don't know. Forza doesn't do it for me at all.
Yeah, it feels like they haven't made much of a splash with any of the last numbered Forzas. It's like the Horizons, as we talked about like yesterday or 2 days ago. Those are the ones that people seem to get hyped about.
Yeah, and then the numbered entries show here to rape your bank account once every 2 years for $60 to sustain their company.
Yeah,
I don't.
Right. If they were more special and didn't release every other year on the dot, probably do.
They kind of have the opposite problem with Gran Turismo, which we also mentioned.
They showed the Porsche.
That they showed a Porsche on stage, and then they showed it in game,
and then they were like the Porsche 911 edition, and we were all like, "Oh man,
there's no way."
Downer.
Why would you? Why would you?
They really want us to remember, right?
So here's the thing about this conference. There are a lot of things we can talk about. Let's talk only about exclusive stuff at first, okay?
Okay.
We're going to jump across the whole thing to just talk about the actually exclusive to Microsoft platforms things.
Okay. And that's going to be a small list.
Yes, and that's kind of my point. There was State of Decay 2, which is Xbox and Windows 10 exclusive.
Right.
And it stands for Xbox One X. Apparently that's supposed to come out spring 2018. Bob, that looked kind of high-end for last gen or middling for beginning of this gen.
Right, yeah.
As I understand it, State of Decay has never been a looker.
Yeah, State of Decay 1 is one of the ugliest games that you will find.
Yes.
Like,
it gives Dead Island a run for its money.
Oh yeah, no, it's way worse looking than Dead Island.
That's
you don't even know. It looks very much like at home on Xbox Live Arcade. Early Xbox Live Arcade though came out late.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's a ugly game, which I'm like, being made by a small group with not much budget. It never is intended to be a bigger thing. That's okay.
Yeah.
But here, we're not there anymore. You're published by Microsoft. You're in their E3 press conference with a large gameplay demo. And you look worse than basically anything that high-end should this gen.
Yeah. You know what? We're going to stick with Microsoft published games that are that. Because there are a bunch of indie games that are technically that. Right? Like
so are we going to go...
Go ahead.
PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
Because that's I don't know. Like that's just being brought over. Like that's a port. But yeah. PlayerUnknown Battleground is coming over. The person who typed up this list they're spaced out PlayerUnknown, which is weird because the game doesn't for a reason. That's the name.
Like, the
name of the guy is PlayerUnknown, all one word. In any case, but yeah, that's coming to the Xbox consoles, and it will be exclusively on Xbox. On console.
Like DayZ.
It will be console exclusive on Xbox. Yeah, DayZ, jeez. And that Unreal Engine 4 dinosaur game. Rim? What's that thing? Arc?
That came to PlayStation, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It did after a few months, and it runs like dog shit on everything.
Yeah, because that's that game's job.
What it does. And I'm sure, PlayerUnknown will run great. At least it's not Unreal Engine 4.
Oh, man.
That's always a point in its advantage.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine 4 is hard to get running in 1080p on PS4. Fucking Xbox One, it's hard to get running, period.
Right.
But in any case, moving on. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
A lot of people seem to really like Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, that thing that looked kind of like a mix of Minecraft and shooting aliens.
Yeah, so kind of like Tomorrow Children sort of thing. You're digging through a planet core, but then there are monsters. But mechanically, it looks more like a normal game where you can shoot the monsters. It plays,
right.
Yeah. So that seemed cool. The aesthetic looked neat.
You're right. That was interesting.
That was one of my more favorite games from this conference. Gonna keep moving on.
Wait.
What?
The Darwin console launch exclusive. Never mind.
I mean, you can talk about that.
All right. The Darwin project was probably one of the worst parts of this presentation.
I already forgot it. That's how bad it is.
It basically started just showing a random shot of gameplay. You couldn't really tell too much of what was going on. The players were killing each other, and then it started having a commentator just come in randomly, like the middle of the gameplay montage.
That's why I blacked it out. So it's kind of like if you could imagine another shitty Battleborn looking type game.
Right.
Which the weird thing is it started CG trailer.
It did.
It started fucking cinematic trailer. And as someone went to sneak up on someone else to kill them or whatever, it hard shifted into gameplay, which didn't look analogous. It looked harshly different. And then a man on a stage, on a pedestal, just starts screaming, shoutcasting into his fucking headset, nonstop yelling out at the crowd.
Right?
It was insane. It
was like that Evolve moment, but completely out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it started with the CG trailer that was okay.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I would say that some people in the room were interested.
Okay, sure. But then that immediately killed that.
I'm averaging my complete lack of interest with their relative interest to make it okay. Because, this fucking CG trailer, they're just like, 2 players remaining. After, like, one guy sneaks up on another and kills them, and then they're looking around in the dark, and then they go, and then they fall over and dead, right?
Right.
And it was like, 1 player remaining. And then it did a thing.
Right.
And it didn't even have time to, like, finish the trailer before some guy's like, oh, this player's sneaking up on this other guy. He's going to shoot him. He's coming around the window. He's got the invisibility. And it's just like, oh, my God. And the screen's covered in, like, dumb style if you would turn the League into a World of Warcraft interface.
Right.
But with even bigger and more simple looking interface buttons.
Yeah.
And it's on screen, even though it's a fucking controller-based game. And it's just like, oh, there's so many layers of why this is awful right now.
Yeah,
I literally stood up and walked away. That's why I didn't remember this. I didn't remember the game part because I saw 2 seconds. I saw enough of the gameplay to know I don't care at all.
Yeah, no.
And the trailer was already like rock fucking bottom for me.
Yeah, it was just really bad. Like, I think it's around the middle of the conference, and there's like, yeah, it's time to just take a dump in here.
Yeah. What else? They got Minecraft. It's supposed to be like on every platform. Crossplay is what they're saying, except for Sony because of reasons. They didn't admit that during the conference, but later they did. And then they're releasing a fucking graphics package called the Super Duper Graphics Pack, which will launch this fall. They're literally selling you better graphics for Minecraft.
Oh man, I forgot that was pay for.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep. That's Minecraft with Microsoft owning it.
Yep.
Let's see. Skipping over DBC Fighters. They talked about Black Desert's coming to the Xbox One.
Right.
In early 2018.
I like how one person that we were watching it was like, hey, Bob, that looks like something you would like. And I'm like, yeah, no, it looks really nice. It's terrible. And then anger even packed me out.
Yeah, what I liked is that multiple people in the room had played it and found it indecipherable and boring.
Right?
It's just like, I beat 5 levels of that game and I still don't know how to play that game, is how one guy phrased it.
Yeah. That game is not good.
Yeah, no, it sounded terrible. It's really sad because it looks great.
Right?
It is quite the looker. Too bad the game design isn't as easy as really beautiful art, apparently. In any case, the game I liked the most was a game called The Last Night, which seemed like a flashback style game. Only the thing is, the environment and everything, lighting, everything is 3D and really good cutting edge sort of graphic look, but style, not hyper realism. Mm-hmm. Like there's a good sense of style to the aesthetic of it. But the actual people are fluidly animated pixel art.
Yeah.
It's
it has
really
a really
neat.
unique look.
Really fucking neat. And then it's clearly going for a flashback thing. Like, that sounds really great, and I'm interested in it. It's console exclusive to Xbox and Xbox One and X. Ah, that made my life so much harder. To the Xbox One family, Xbone family.
I mean, they haven't announced anything that's
Xbone
exclusive.
fam.
They haven't announced anything that is exclusive to the X, so I don't think we need to worry about specifying. They did make a really big deal of the X playing all your Xbox One games.
Which is weird.
Right? It's like, well, I should
Maybe
hope.
they thought people wouldn't get that.
Maybe, but that's the sort of thing you do if you call it like Xbox 2 or something where it's a clear generational leap. This one's still called Xbox One.
Right. Which would make it really insane, like a PSP Go scenario, which is the only scenario I can think of where a slight upgrade version of a thing didn't play all the games.
Yeah. Man, Sony.
Yeah, good job. The Artful Escape was a stylized 2D game that came up after the last night that really should have come before it oh god, that didn't look good in comparison. Like, the animation style was very flash, motion tweeny.
Right. I think that the beginning of the trailer had that problem, but at least it went completely crazy with the style it was going for by the end.
It has a like Blue Submarine sort of look as a character is sort of platforming while air guitaring. Some sort of like thought of a music video platformer thing there.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't seem too mechanically driven based on it. And the release date was when it's damn ready. So that was kind of funny. Console launch exclusive for the Xbone fam. Code Vein is apparently an Xbox One console launch exclusive?
I think that was a thing that was at the beginning of the Artful Escape, and this guy screwed it up and put it on both.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't think it said that. I think it said Xbox One and X enhanced.
Yeah.
But,
well, we can double check it later, but I'm almost certain that was just the previous thing.
Viewers, you're on the internet. You can check it yourself. But yeah, in case you don't know, Code Vein is like anime Dark Souls. Oh my god.
I wouldn't even say that, but
it's an action game made by the God Eater people that's even more anime than God Eater.
No, it's not. Because nothing is.
I think it is.
I
played God Eater, and I feel like because of the fidelity added here, it is 4K anime.
Dan.
Yeah.
God Eater's always open with an anime cutscene. They are as anime as the PSP lets them be. And they haven't been released on anything else.
I feel like maybe it's because the art style in like those games doesn't clash as insanely with the anime. Like, in those, it's bleak dystopian futures, right?
Yeah.
Like desolate cityscapes with devastated buildings.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason in this, like, everyone in the room was like, their fucking faces don't match up with the rest of this game.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it comes off as that. There's the huge amount of contrast, the amount of spotlight put on how anime it is relative to the rest of itself, not even its contemporaries.
Right.
Which I made a joke during the conference. Oh, it's like Japanese Dark Souls. And it's like, Dark Souls does come from Japan. God, I hate you.
Yeah.
Those are the type of people,
Yeah. Yeah,
that exist. In any case, Sea of Thieves.
I was just gonna say, Code Vein still not looking great.
I don't know. It needs to be more done,
right,
before I have judgment at all. Sea of Thieves. It's a first-person game where you solve riddles to find treasure. The riddles are really obvious. Of like, the first clue is really wet. So then they jump in the water and they swim around and they find a treasure chest, and then they open it, and then it's like, the second treasure's, you can't see the sky from where it is. So then they go in a cave, and then it's like, literally walk 12 steps northwest.
This gameplay thing seemed like a cut down version of something that was hours and hours long.
Right, like it seems like they were cutting in between events that had happened across 4 hours or something.
Right, because they
do jump cuts.
Yeah, they do.
And it's very smooth. Like the way they do it, like he pulls up the paper with the riddles written on it, and when he lowers it, he's somewhere else.
Right.
Like they do that the whole time, so it's like, man, this is not an example of how this would look.
Yeah, I don't know. That game, like you were saying earlier, it looks like it's way more of a game than it was last time we saw it.
Yeah.
Because last time it was just literally boating.
Like it's just jump on this boat. Good job. You can steer this boat.
They made it sound like you need your whole team to make the boat work.
Yeah.
But really, I'm not so sure because it seemed like most of the other guys were literally standing around doing nothing. Yeah. But maybe just because the boat wasn't moving at that point or something.
I mean, you get in a fucking battle with another ship, you'll definitely want teammates.
Yeah, for sure.
I
don't know. It looked really just boring
Yeah, I mean, Aggro was excited, but that was it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else at the party was particularly interested in what they were offering here. I'm sticking a cough drop in my mouth.
Nom nom nom.
But yeah, it just looks kind of boring and very multiplayer heavy.
Yeah, like there's no way to play this game alone.
Like
probably.
It just seems like it would be even more boring if you played it alone.
Right. I wonder if it's gonna be like a free, always online sort of game. That sounds like something that the Microsoft would approach. Of course, without the free part.
Right. They brought in Tacoma again to talk about how it's going to be out on August 2nd. It's like, stop talking about Tacoma. Just let it come out.
Right.
Moving on. Super Lucky's Tale was announced and is a console launch exclusive for Xbone fam. So for those who don't know, Lucky's Tale was a VR 3D platformer.
Uh-huh.
Featuring a what would you say that creature looks like?
Fox.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to say too. It's just very cartoony.
Yeah.
Like very, very cartoony to make it like very cute and not nearly fox-like and pretty close to Cocker, actually. And yeah, it's just the most schlock like 3D platformer possible. But now it's not VR, it's just a 3D platformer. So it seems like a pivot to make money off of the shitload of development they put into the VR game.
Yeah. They must have worked on that a decent bit. It looked like it was decently made. I hope that game runs well, because we didn't see the stream today wasn't at a 60 or anything, so we couldn't tell if it was just this going to run at 60 or if it was just going to be locked to 30.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like it was designed for VR, so.
Right, it was, but it's also maybe they're adding things to it, or maybe the consoles can't handle 60 frames per second on that game because they programmed it horribly or something.
Wow, that's some pessimism.
Yeah.
With the power of an ox. This game is not a looker, ladies and gentlemen. But
it is not.
Yeah, Cuphead, September 29th.
They dated it. Oh my god.
So that's good.
And also it's available for pre-order on Steam. So you don't need to use the Windows 10
which is good, because fuck Windows 10.
Well, I'm sure you've probably still need Windows 10. I feel you probably still need Windows 10, but you don't need the store.
I mean, there's no reason to believe it needs DirectX 11.
They just always plaster that exclusively on Windows 10 thing on everything they own.
Right. I don't know. I have no reason to believe Cuphead will necessitate. In fact, you could check the system requirements on Steam.
I could
just to check. This next thing I really want to talk about, because it's interesting how it went wrong. Crackdown 3 had an amazing intro by Terry Crews as a character in it. He was live action. And they were like, oh yeah, he's a character in it. Da-da-da-da-da. And he keeps prattling.
I'm pretty sure they even say, you are Terry Crews.
I think they may have said that, yeah. But there's enough things he says and other things that imply he's a part of the organization in this.
Right.
And a character in it. And then the gameplay starts and he's just gone.
Yeah. That's really weird.
And the intro was amazing. And then they show the gameplay, and everyone who's hyped up in the intro just sort of like calmed down and didn't really
just like kind of looking for Terry Crews in it.
Like
instead we just get tons of explosions and tons of that causing it to chug like crazy.
Yeah.
Like
no mention of the cloud.
That looked like it was all multiplayer though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. What if the cloud isn't real?
Yeah, I don't know. Crackdown 3, man.
Yeah.
That looked pretty bad.
Yeah,
Like, for
I don't think it looked good at all.
Something coming out this late, something they've been talking about for so long. I thought it would look better. I too was hyped up for Terry Crews being the main character.
I was like,
and
oh man, they
stupid
get
things.
exactly what Crackdown 3 should be.
Right?
And then the gameplay started, and I was like, oh, no, they don't.
The marketing department got it.
Yeah. They got the Old Spice guys. They got it. They did everything right. Real quick, there was a video montage for, ID at Xbox, the individual indie development group. I just want to talk about something real quick. It's ID at Xbox, and yet Fable Fortune was in it. Fable Fortune is a card game based on Fable.
Yeah.
When they fucking canceled the last even sort of real Fable game.
Yeah, and then shut down the studio.
These people are fuck asses.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really, like, that's kind of just twisting the knife. Like, that's not cool.
It really isn't. Also, does everything need to have a CCG?
Yeah, I guess that they found out that they could make a lot of money on that, so every company wants in.
That's annoying.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember Ashen.
Ashen was that one with the kind of cool art style where no one had faces.
Oh yeah, yeah, look neat, but I don't have enough things to say about it.
Yeah, I mean,
the greater scheme of.
It was neat art style. I think that people were comparing it to Dark Souls for some reason.
Yeah, people in the room compared it to Dark Souls, and I'm like, it looks like there's combat. Is that what you mean?
Right. And it might be multiplayer. It has a
shield and a weapon.
Did they even have shields?
Yeah, okay. One guy had a shield, the other guy had a weapon.
Okay.
I don't think they ever showed one guy with both.
Huh.
Yeah. Because at one point in the trailer, the dude with the weapon's down, and he's about to be attacked by the other guy. But his friend shields the hit so he can attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That moment I just described is literally everything except for the ending shot that I can remember.
I remember the one shot where one guy walks down the hallway, then this dark monster appears behind him and runs after him, and the other guy just watches.
Right. Yeah, no, the rest of that was pretty dumb.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't say I know enough about that game to really talk much about it either.
Cool. Life is Strange Before the Storm.
This is that Life is Strange game they told us was coming last week.
They threatened us it was coming last week.
Oh my god.
Middle-earth Shadow of War came by and triggered aggro. Because he's a Lord of the Rings fan and he does not approve of various choices they've made.
He sounded like he really liked that troll character though.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair.
Okay, honestly, he didn't. He sounded like he wanted to like him, but was incredibly upset by him.
He was trying to like him through the veil of hatred.
Right.
But yeah, no, he's more likable than anything in the first game.
Yeah, he is.
And I don't mean like more likable than any character. I mean more likable than anything. As in the game itself, the mechanics, the music, the story, everything. So, I'm more interested in this one than the last one.
They seem to have added color. Like, I know the last game was insanely
very desaturated,
gray.
Graw.
Graw.
It must so graw.
It's just so raw and
if
graw.
You fuse with wraith, you will graw. Graw. You're a Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
Yes.
Yes, that'd be so good. Lord of the Rings Advanced Warfighter. Aggro would explode.
They basically have gone that far. Let's just be honest.
Almost that far. There are no jets.
It wouldn't be a stretch.
No one has a machine gun and like.
You just need to cross the worlds. It's cool. That'd be a great crossover manga.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna start writing the light novel right now.
Okay, you do that. We'll sell it on like.
I've only watched the movies for Lord of the Rings. I assume that's enough. I've seen them like once a few years back. I'm ready to write
something about 12Z's. The Hobbits eat 12 meals.
Yeah. That sounds,
so there you go. That's all you need to know.
I forgot about that though. So.
That's like the one thing I think about. Like, legitimately, I'm pretty sure Aggro had a conversation with me once.
Uh-huh.
Where he was pissed that they didn't go into the insane meal regimen that the Hobbits have in the movies. It was the most book nerd argument I've ever heard.
Right.
For why the movie was worse. It was because they didn't go into their meal regimen. And I don't know if Aggro was kidding. I wouldn't trust him now to say whether or not he was kidding. He'll just say he's kidding.
I don't know. I kind of feel like he would still stand by that.
But I really don't know. But in any case, let's move on.
Wait. I think there was one other cool thing. They made this sword that you have, like, it glows a little bit, so there's this cool glow trail behind the sword now.
Oh, cool.
It looks cooler than anything in the first game.
No shit, the conference ended, and we were talking about things we liked about games, and Bob's like, I like the part in Middle-earth Shadow of War where the sword glowed.
Go look at that sword glow. It's a good one.
You're not wrong. You're just an asshole. Imagine you said that to the game developer. They would be so disheartened. They're like, you don't care about the war mechanics or this really witty guy we wrote?
No.
Which I really...
Look, Devil May Cry 1 is still one of the best games ever made. The sword trail's just so cool.
It is really cool. I feel like the way Tekken does space distortion in slow-mo, like that should be applied to new Devil May Cry sword trail, and it would look good.
It probably would.
Yeah. Because I feel like they use a crazy amount of geometry with a shader on top to do it. It looks so good. Because it's a pulse of 3D.
Yeah,
like,
those things.
Like a drop in a pool of water ripples out. It was a space ripple that has the distortion. It's good. It's real good. They teased Oh, right. One more thing. Ori and the Will of the Wisp was officially announced. Bob, you watched it.
Yeah.
I walked away.
Oh, you're right. It looks like another Ori game.
I tried to...
There's a sad owl this time, though.
I tried to walk away during Shadow of War because that was my plan the whole conference. I'm like, I'm going to take a piss during Shadow of War. And then that fuck Justin Dead, he totally ganked the bathroom. And I was like, great, now I'm going to miss something else. And then it was a sequel to Ori in the Woods. Or what was that?
Blind Forest.
Ori in the Blind Forest. And I'm okay with missing that.
All right.
I don't know that it needed a sequel.
Yeah, even from people in the room, it was like, didn't that have a definitive ending? It was like, I heard that you couldn't even play it after you beat it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too surprised.
Right.
But yeah, looks like they're big dead bird or big dead owls and a sad owl that you might play as. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It showed the old main character kind of holding the shoulder or like leaning against the owl, consoling him kind of.
I wonder if that's spoilers for the first game.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
Huh.
I mean, the art's still gorgeous. They didn't really show... I don't think they showed gameplay at all. I think it was really just... yeah.
Because when I came back, it was still a CG trailer.
Yeah, just showing the stuff.
The cinematic-y stuff. And we'll go back for third-party games in a second, because those matter the least, I feel, in any presentation. Like the third-party, not even exclusive.
Right. I mean... Like they were the best amount or best things here, but they still don't matter that much.
In any case, Xbox backwards compatibility has been expanded to include original Xbox console library games. Is a way to drastically overstate what was announced.
Right.
They said, hey, we're going to do something with Xbox original backwards compatibility. Everyone lost their minds, and they're like, we know you guys want Crimson Skies. And I was like, what? Really? People other than me do? And everyone else in the room went, who the fuck wants that?
You're right.
I was like, me. That game was pretty good. They made the studio who made that make Shadowrun and then die.
Yep. Microsoft.
Woo!
Digging up those old wounds.
Here's a collectible card game based on Shadowrun.
Great.
Thanks, asshole. And, you know, they announced some games that were getting 4K Xbox One X updates.
I personally am really excited for Xbox original games, but at the same time, I have an Xbox original sitting over there, and I don't think I'll buy an Xbox One.
Yeah, I don't think an Xbox One's going to run in a higher res. It doesn't run any of the 360 games in a higher res. So then, like, you would have to have a game that just ran worse. Like, at uncapped frame rate, not locked 60. And then that might run better.
Right. So Otogi would definitely benefit from something like that, because you know that game.
I feel like that's not the same game. Because Otogi's like 90% slowdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game feels different.
Right. I'm okay with that.
I don't see why everyone's a fan of Dark Souls. They should be a fan of From Software's greater works like Otogi. Because anyone cares about Otogi. But yeah, they announced those updates for the over 30 additional titles from third parties, such as Final Fantasy 15, Resident Evil 7, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Rocket League, and etc.
I found it really interesting that one of the games they strolled by was The Witcher 3, which the devs said that they wouldn't even update for the PlayStation 4 Pro. Like, no, we don't want to go back at all because we're working on Cyberpunk now. We don't have time for that.
So do you think Microsoft paid them money?
Yeah, either that or just they just put it up there and like, whatever, everything works. It gives you a higher frame rate automatically. It doesn't matter if we actually got them to do anything with it.
Okay, then every game is that.
I don't know. Yeah, it must be they paid them or something.
Yeah, because that's not unreasonable to think Microsoft might do.
Right. Because that is one of the biggest games, and they probably have all the charts saying, hey, people are still playing this a lot.
Probably. So yeah, let's talk about the third-party games. I could talk about the most important one, but we'll save that for later.
Okay.
Let's talk about Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins is, of course, multi-platform.
Right.
For only Xbox One X, it's going to be 4K Ultra HD HDR.
Was it just me, or like, does this game kind of look ugly? Like, I think it looked better than others.
You ever know? You ever meet a chick and her personality is so terrible that other people around you say she's attractive and you can't even see it anymore because you hate the bitch so much?
Yeah, probably.
That.
Okay.
So I have no idea. I have no clue, man. It wasn't even like I wasn't paying attention. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. You watched him get that legendary bow from the random dude.
Yeah, he had an intense bow on some random watch guard. This looks like the most promising Assassin's Creed game possibly ever.
Yeah. I mean, other than the first one, because that was like all sorts of potential for new ideas and stuff like that.
Right. So yeah, aside from that, this looks like the most promising one ever. And, you know, you're basically in Egypt. You're going after the Illuminati. Or as they call them, the Magi.
No, you're the last Magi.
Oh, you're the last Magi, and you're going after the Illuminati. Okay.
Is it the Illuminati?
Yeah, they had the Illuminati symbol in it.
Okay.
Which is why Kyle just started losing his shit.
Because you are the first assassin, which also made him go crazy.
Why are you the first assassin?
I don't know.
Why would the last Magi be the first assassin?
Because they gotta do the origin story.
I hate that they're doing an origin story. You know what would be really fucking woke? They call it Origins. It pitches itself as an origin story. The ending is like one of the latest in the timeline because the timeline keeps getting nuked down to early human civilization over and over again.
That kind of felt like where they were going with the first game, but no.
Well, with multiple of them until they killed off the guy in the modern timeline.
Yeah, one thing that kills me, they didn't show what's going on in the modern timeline. Yeah. That is one of the key things they need to do to fix Assassin's Creed. It's true.
I don't know, man. She's just a bitch. I don't see what anyone sees in her. They keep saying she's fun, and I keep saying I struggle to not kill her every day. It's the hardest struggle I know.
But the combat looks like it's completely reworked. Mm-hmm. From the look of it, it seemed like the animations for attacking and defending were no longer just completely pre-scripted Batman-like things.
Yeah, didn't someone in the room also compare that to Dark Souls?
Yeah, because it was a guy with a sword and shield. It's like, God, I guess that's all it takes.
It was like the Twitter account was in the room.
Right?
It was beautiful.
This also had Code Vein, so we had the full gamut of things people kept saying were Dark Souls, which probably weren't Dark Souls.
Well, yeah, and also that Ashen game.
Right?
It was amazing how much it kept coming up.
I'm surprised Tacoma wasn't like Dark Souls.
Well, it was first person.
Oh, you're right.
But I'm glad that they're trying. I don't care at all.
They put a teaser at the end of it to fight a giant snake, and I was like, that's neat. That's a place that Assassin's Creed hasn't gone.
They put a stinger at the end where it's like, oh, the trailer's ramping up, and oh, scary moment, end.
Yeah, like always.
Like you do, I guess.
Also, the duck button might be separate from other buttons now. It looked like he was able to sneak around of his own volition.
Crazy.
Which
helps in a stealth game.
Right. It looks like there are any parts of this that could be approaching regular game. Like, standards for those genres it tries to be.
Right.
And that's encouraging, but
let's move on.
Yeah. Sure.
Metro Exodus. We didn't talk about that earlier. We're about to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Metro Exodus. They're doing a Metro game. Another one. This didn't seem like real gameplay to me.
It did look way too nice, and all of the stuff near the end of the trailer especially was like, whoa, this is super pre-scripted.
Yeah, like insanely.
And then it said 2018, that's next year. Which is unbelievable if this was wholly CG.
Yeah, so I don't trust that anything in that is actual gameplay, but, all the narrative ideas or scenery, like the look of it as well. All that seemed nice.
Right.
Like the super mutated rats looked crazy.
I want to believe that this is the graphical fidelity they're aiming for, because, like, Metro guys, they actually get really good looking stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they have hardware and software engineers that are
clearly good at what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sure, that'll be cool for people who like Metro.
Yeah. I'm sure on more powerful versions of modern gen consoles and PC, it'll be great looking. And on PC, it'll run well even. Because I think these console versions will probably be locked at 30 if it tries to reach that at all.
Yeah, which would be pretty typical for Metro.
I feel like the re-releases were 60, weren't they? On PS4?
Maybe?
When they ported them up?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was a huge thing about them. But there's a Digital Foundry on that, so you guys can look that up to check me on that. There's going to be a lot of that in this, because,
Too much. E3 is actually happening today.
It's a nightmare. A production nightmare. Even for us. We literally had to kick Alzeon out of here to record this in time, to edit and render in time, to go home and sleep like 7 hours. Why am I getting so many emails now? Oh, thanks, Game Informer Digital.
I have a thing about Assassin's Creed to tell you.
It actually said that even in the notification there.
Wow. I wonder if I got that too.
You have to have.
I didn't yet.
Not yet. We'll just give it a few seconds. Other third-party stuff.
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Dragon Ball FighterZ Z. It's being made by Arc System Works. It looks like it's Guilty Gear Tech to make 2.5D fighting game based on Dragon Ball Z.
Surprising part, it's on Unreal Engine 4 now.
Yeah, instead of 3, which is interesting that they were able to port it up and will be able to get this out in early 2018.
Yeah.
It also seems like they're saying it's going to be competitive.
Yeah, there was this whole thing earlier about them saying they're shooting for Evo, that sort of stuff.
So that's cool. It's cool that somebody's trying to make an actually balanced, actually good fighting game based on Dragon Ball Z. Because one might make the argument that no one's ever tried.
Yeah, it's been it's ever happened.
Right.
Yeah.
It's never happened. Which is why I'm saying somebody could make the argument that no one even tried.
Like, we've been seeing DBZ games for
2 decades. Yeah, easily 2 decades. Longer. 3 decades.
Is it that?
If you count Japanese games, 3 decades.
Wow.
Yeah, because Dragon Power on the NES, I don't know what the actual Japanese game for the NES Famicom Dragon Ball game is. That's 1987 or older, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Yeah, so it's been a long time.
And yet, I mean, to be fair, fighting games were really rough around the Super NES time.
Oh, yeah, so, for sure. But there's so much
Hyper Butoden?
Hyperdimension, yeah.
Yeah, that one's a pretty, even vaguely solid fighter. In the way that one we covered on the weekly meeting was not.
Yeah, the classic Butoden games, or Super Butoden.
Super Butoden are super rough.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Butoden means. It's Dragon Ball Z, super rough. Just look out. We didn't finish this one.
But man, that game looks amazing.
It really does.
When I see it, I'm always disappointed that they didn't get licensed to a different anime, because almost any other cool shonen thing I feel like would be more interesting just on the merit of it doesn't have like 24 games.
2?
Over 24 games.
Yeah, it's got to be over 36 games.
Yeah.
Just think about the portable entries alone.
Yeah,
There are at least a dozen.
There's hundreds of DBZ games.
Yeah. Unlimited DBZ games. I don't know. DBZ makes for good source material for games.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
It reads like a dumbass video game.
Right. And it's not like, say, Naruto would be any better. That also has way too many games at this point.
Yeah, we're now at a point where that has way too many games, and no one's doing a Yu Yu Hakusho game in 2017.
No, it's
should.
not going to happen.
It should, but it's not.
Get a Bleach Yu Yu Hakusho crossover game.
Nice. Or Hunter x Hunter.
Yes, all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Get them in here. Now fuck it up. What else? Da 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 da. Yeah, I think that was it.
Oh right, the big one.
Oh yeah, there it is, all the way at the bottom. Anthem, that thing that was teased at EA's conference, was actually shown off here.
Teased, Dan? Or was it?
I'm waiting.
Cut.
It was cut. What do you? Oh, cucked. Oh, well, it wasn't cucked. EA was cucked.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm misusing the term.
I don't even want to think about what Anthem is in this equation. Also, you're misusing the term. Good job. You're in 2017, probably politically slightly left.
Oh no. What's happened?
Lights on fire.
I'm so lit. Does that mean I'm woke too?
If I catch on fire, I hope that I have the peace of mind to scream, "I'm so lit." But then people around me will laugh and not put out the flames. So,
and then you need to make sure to get out one more. I'm number 1.
Yeah, don't forget, Chuck. I'm number 1.
So Anthem, that was
the beginning was fake as hell.
Yeah,
unbelievably fake as hell. Like looked ridiculously good for anything. The game doesn't come out until 2018. Wait, did he not even say that?
I think they said 2018.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing it here.
Right?
I'm pretty sure that was 2018.
That's what they said, but I wouldn't count on it.
Right. It could get pushed. My point is, like, it was super fucking fake.
Yeah.
Like, the beginning, especially.
Yeah.
The beginning plays like a CG animatic from first person, like Killzone 2 style.
Right, it might as well have been a literal live-action cutscene.
And then after she gets in the suit, it immediately cuts to outside of the main city, where they're gonna go in a team to go explore the wilderness, the wildlands, the Russia in Destiny. And instead of loading into a different area from there, they leap off the side of the town, from like this dock it has basically into the wilderness, and they have a jetpack to fly to the area they want to go to. So it was all very seamless. And they ran into like some enemies fucking each other up, and your classic E3 cutscene, super scripted moment sort of way, like all those Ubisoft games.
And also had the classic commentary, but
fake in-game chatter that was done by voice actors, so it was really confusing when it wasn't actual in-game stuff.
Right, it might even be in the same voice that she had when she was literally talking to the in-game characters.
Yeah. EA's really bad at being Ubisoft, is what we're figuring out.
Right. Oh my god.
And, you know, it's bad. Like, the game could be really cool, but how fake this is looks shitty and annoying.
Something about the Dark Zone, I don't know. We did keep comparing it to The Division.
Yeah. They even have that classic E3 moment of, oh man, we're gonna need more people for this. Let's meet up with our friends. Oh, our friends are here. Okay, let's do the thing that'll cut and end the trailer.
I was really surprised when those guys came in. They didn't look up at the sky and see their spaceship fly over and then give us some talk about, oh yeah, they get to customize their spaceship.
Or like some ridiculous thing of like, oh man, I see you got this model. Yeah, there's a really cool story to that. I'll have to tell you sometime.
Right.
Like that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was...
Yeah, the whole thing is just too fake right now.
So it is really too fake.
Judge.
And it's BioWare, and it's Frostbite. And Frostbite early trailers are always fake as shit. They're like, oh, it's in engine. Like Star Wars Battlefront 1 had an in-engine trailer running on PS4 that looks amazing, even by today's standards. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. EA's decided they need to be like Ubisoft in that way too.
And they're just bad at it.
Yeah, when you go this far, there is no one who believes it.
Yeah. And there are people who believe it.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But we don't believe it. And that sort of caused me to say something along the lines of, what was it? Jaded E3 is worst E3?
Right. Because, no, we're used to this by now.
Yeah. Being Sony fans,
right?
We've been used to this for about a decade.
So yeah, that game.
So Killzone 2's looking great.
It's looking great.
It's
the best thing ever. Like, I can't believe we're gonna sell tons of these Xbox X.
Xbox One X's.
Xbox One X.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. They did a really shitty job of selling this thing, I feel. Like, every game they were like, oh man, it's optimized for Xbox One X. It's going to be so good, Marty. It's going to be so good. We're going to go on all these adventures.
If they even said that much, it'd be something. But literally all it was the first thing you said of, it's optimized.
Shitting out fucking specs.
Right, and spitting out the typical, like, oh, 4K. They just shove it at the beginning of every single trailer. It's like, okay, you're not really doing anything else for me here.
Like, they're not selling people on the idea of 4K. They feel like the onus is on someone else.
Right.
And then they're not saying that it'll load faster or anything else.
Oh, no.
Because each game's going to be different. Yeah. Because it's all up to the devs, so they can't really make that promise.
Right.
So they came out with a confusing name. They didn't have a side-by-side comparison being like, oh, here's your normal shit, here's your super shit.
They weren't able to... They wouldn't do that, which is weird. Like, there wasn't a single one of those.
Yeah.
I feel like even Sony during that awful presentation they did. Yeah.
It mostly affected people who were there in person, able to see 4K HDR.
Right.
But yeah, when you're talking jumping from 1080p to 4K, like native 4K, like the Xbox One X is supposed to,
mm-hmm. You could just zoom in on
would
stuff.
Yeah, you could zoom in.
Like,
you could do things, any things. They spent a whole year talking about how powerful it was, and then they did the world's shittiest job of showing that.
Right? I mean, like our Xbox friend who is just super into Xbox. Literally later that night after he watched the Microsoft conference, like, I might need to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, and that's fucking crazy,
right? Because there is nothing here that's exclusive. There's nothing here that was super impressive. Okay, there's like two things that are exclusive, but I digress. That's not even exclusive to Xbox. That's on Xbox and PC.
Right. I mean, but yeah, like, and he's a pre-existing Xbox One owner. Right. And like, he was like, not only do I not give a shit about the X, I might need a PS4. Which is a great time for him to get in because he likes God of War.
Right.
God knows. And, like, here's the thing, right? You know God of War is going to be like, oh, I'm coming out by early 2018. Whether that's the end of this year or early 2018.
Yeah, it could be that same Horizon launch time.
Just that one game puts Microsoft's fucking portfolio looking like dog shit compared to Sony's. Because they have nothing.
Yeah, as long as
they didn't announce anything this year.
Yeah.
Did they? Did they not announce a thing for this year? I think Crackdown 3 might have been this year.
Did we get a date?
I feel like we did. I feel like it's just missing here. Yeah, November 7th.
Okay, they got a game coming out this year, Dan. And Sea of Thieves is
early 2018.
Might be real. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it though, right?
Yeah. And that's a game that game was announced 3 years ago.
That game was shown off as being supposedly real 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 2013 with the cloud.
Right. It was the year before. It was the year that launched. Man.
Yeah.
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 That's not good.
No.
And that wasn't a game we were getting hyped up about every year. That was a game where I was like, oh man, are you guys going to cancel that every year?
Well, it was like, oh man, are you going to cancel that? Because I would understand.
Right?
This is insane. Like, they showed a bunch of third-party games that are multi-platform and did the world's worst job of making games. Like, they have no fucking games. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's really just Forza and Crackdown for this whole year.
I just don't...
Because it was not like we had a load first half of the year like we do with Sony.
Oh, yeah, no, the first half of this year was fucking crazy for us.
Right? There were... You look at the Xbox releases and it was a joke. There was nothing. It was all just the same multi-platform games.
And what we're looking at is a whole nother year of that.
Right?
Sony doesn't even have to have a 12-minute conference to beat this.
Yeah.
Dreams is real. It's coming out this year. God of War's coming out by early 2018. And here's the next thing from Sucker Punch. Here's Days Gone.
Spider-Man's coming out.
Right? This is already 3 times as many games.
Last of Us 2 is coming out. Uncharted Lost Legacy launches in about 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is... This is... There's never been such a huge difference between console manufacturers on a portfolio front.
Yeah. It's absurd. Like, even the end of the PS3 360 life cycle, where PS3 was actually still getting games and the 360 just had wholly stopped.
It's not like Sony put a ton of backing into the games they did turn out.
Right. They had, like, the biggest...
Starhawk, Twisted Metal.
Yeah. And it was, like, 1 a year.
Well, no, because Starhawk and Twisted Metal both came out in the first half of a single year. I believe that was 2012.
Right, because they just hated both of them.
Yeah, I don't fucking know what their deal was. But yeah, I don't... It's crazy. Sony's making some of the craziest looking games... And they have some of the best studios. And then Microsoft comes out here and they couldn't even announce.
Like, the only game that looked like really good with Anthem, which we just went over, was a lie. And it wasn't even exclusively for them.
And that's crazy. Like, you should have a game that looks really cool. They should have had something to tease for fucking Halo.
Forza didn't even look like better than last time.
I find it hard to say that. It looked good.
Yeah.
I don't know that it looked.
It looked the same, though.
It didn't look astonishingly better.
Like, that
I
desert
will say
looked nice.
that much. Yeah, the desert
did look really nice. I don't know if I think we just didn't see an environment like that last time, so it's hard to compare.
Yeah, because the rocks were really well done.
Yeah,
like the rock faces and shit like that. It's really well done. So I think Microsoft did a really miserable job here with their conference.
They did keep it moving at a steady pace and showing off games, but it was none of it was
like, it felt like real E3 in a way that EA's didn't.
Right.
But it also felt like, man, Microsoft doesn't have dick.
Right.
Like, it's so crazy. I mean, I guess if you're really into Super Lucky's Tale, that's an exclusive, right? Console exclusive.
Is it a console launch exclusive or
it's a console launch exclusive?
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, these that are exclusives aren't.
Console launch exclusive, for those who aren't keeping up with the ever-changing way to confuse people into believing you are only going to be able to get the game from them, it means that it's only going to be exclusive to their console at launch.
Right.
So
there's no telling exactly how long that timed exclusive is.
But generally speaking, it seems like Microsoft's only willing to pay up to a year.
Yeah, and that was on Tomb Raider, which was obviously
a big
the biggest
deal.
one they've done.
So
I feel like they might have said that for Ark, and Ark did not wait a whole year.
No, that was like 4 months.
Probably. Something like that.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months. But yeah, in any case, I was really disappointed. Crackdown 3 was worse than I thought it would even be.
Right, Saints. We're talking about this.
Yes.
Agents of Mayhem, the new Saints Row game.
Yeah.
Looks better. That is a game from freaking Nordic. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, it's from the Red Faction people.
Yeah.
It's this Saint Row people.
Right.
Like, the last time we saw it looked bad, but like the newer trailers make it look better than Crackdown 3, which is insane. Because
not a high bar, but still.
Yeah, but like, fucking Microsoft should be pouring money into Crackdown 3. It should be a Terry Crews game. It should be a Terry Crews vehicle. It should be a game that has any idea what its identity is, unlike the past couple.
Right. Because just being a GTA clone is not doing anybody any favors. They showed some of the powers, but they were all powers from freaking Crackdown 1. Like picking up cars and doing everything you expect from that.
Right.
Like, they didn't go farther.
I think the whole thing's just supposed to be how multiplayer-y it is.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And they didn't do a great job of showing why I would care. They just showed four characters flying around really goofily.
Right, like you do in Crackdown.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird.
It's so weird and bad. So let's finish. Oh wait, are we supposed to grade these? Did we grade the? I feel like we gave them grades, right?
Yeah.
Or we ranked.
EA, we ranked it.
We're trying to rank these. So Bob, this is better than EA.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Because they show games.
Right.
Like EA wouldn't even do that.
Okay, so right now it's Microsoft and then EA. We're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about both the Bethesda conference and the Digital Devolver conference. Hey Bob.
Hey Dan.
So they announced Doom VFR, which is a new virtual fucking reality game for PlayStation VR and Vive.
Is that what it's actually abbreviated?
I assumed that's what it was when it was VFR. Either that or very fucking real. Which I like a little bit more, but whatever. And then they announced Fallout 4 VR. Last year they made it sound like, it was just gonna be their VR. They were doing a VR for them.
Right.
And they kept saying that in the lawsuits and other things too that kind of made it ambiguous.
Right. It was a lot of weirdness there.
And then this year it's like, oh, we're just making some VR games.
For the Vive.
Which Doom looked like shit.
Oh wait, Doom is on PlayStation VR and Vive.
I said that. And for some reason Fallout 4 is only on Vive. I guess because of course it can't run well enough on a PlayStation 4.
There's no way.
Not a fucking chance.
Because that lets you play all of Fallout 4 in VR, and then the Dooms thing looked like a shooter where you could sort of teleport around using the teleportation mechanics that VR games can have.
Yeah, if you look at VR games, it looks like that for transportation, and you could do it to fly into someone and break them, kind of like the takedowns.
Right. So yeah,
Doom looked like shit.
It did.
Fallout 4 looked like Fallout 4, which isn't saying it doesn't look like shit. I'm saying it looks on brand. Doom did not look slick or anything. It looked really rough.
It looked like, well, I guess we're going to have to do this.
Yeah, here's our goddamn shooter. Here's our goddamn shooter IP in a goddamn VR game because we have to do this because we said we were doing this. It looks awful. Like, I don't want that. I don't think it would be fun. Nothing about that looked really fun, per se.
Yeah, the teleportation mechanic like that doesn't seem like it translates well to Doom.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. Because the whole point of Doom is like running around super fast, firing like crazy. If you just like literally stop in one place and shoot at enemies, I just can't get behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a billion shooter type games for VR that look way cooler than this. Like Super Hot.
They could have just put it on rails, like made you run just insanely fast through a stage, and
they're or like think Time Crisis.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's stages of like moving through an area. That would have worked great. But no.
They just did the cheapest thing.
They didn't. Yeah, no, this is just shit. It's just shit. Creation Club was announced, which is a way to create pay-for mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4. It's apparently going to be PS4, Xbox One, and PC this summer.
Hopefully, they're hoping that if they change the name, people will be okay with it this time.
Yep.
They made some implication that they themselves are going to be making mods for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's...
You know what we call those? Patches.
Right? They're optional patches you can pay for. So there's DLC.
And engage and disengage easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't...
It might be a way for them to get real mods on PlayStation. Like, that's the main thing here. I think that's something that could actually be a benefit of this program.
Yeah. It's just I don't see this going well. Yeah. It's about all I care about it. Mods on PC are great. I feel like Creation Club's going to try to muscle out the free mod community on PC, just like
paid mods.
Kind of tried last time with paid mods.
Yeah.
But whatever. I still think there's a huge thing to be said for the market angle that is give away the product for free and figure out a way to monetize on top of that. I feel like a lot of mod creators have done successfully either through the clout they've gotten from being mod makers, thus PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds,
Right.
or finding other ways to do premium mods on top of their normal mods, or do custom tailored content for high-paying patrons. You know, that there are multiple ways to monetize aside from just selling your fucking mod for $4.
Right, and I not even getting a full cut of it, I'm sure.
Nowhere near.
Yeah.
Nowhere near. I hear the cut they were setting up last time was fucked completely.
Yeah, which
like,
is
Bethesda gets 30%, Valve gets 30%.
What?
No, it was like Valve gets 30%, Bethesda gets 50%. The actual creator of the mod got like 10 or 20.
That's terrible.
Yeah, they're
the ones putting in all the work.
All of the work,
all
literally.
of it.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god. All right. So moving on.
Publishers. Right. So about how the freemium model makes way more sense for a lot of industries, like YouTube as well. Obviously, we can only do what we do because of our patrons.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much. Because this audio quality would be way worse right now. Not for you, Jesus Christ. We wouldn't be the best sounding YouTube channel you've never heard of without your support. Let's talk about the Dishonored DLC. Bob, they're doing Dishonored DLC.
Wow.
Yeah, it features Dodd and Billy Lurk.
With new powers.
And it's maybe
different powers.
It's going to come out September 15th.
It's more Dishonored 2.
It's more Dishonored 2. Somebody wants that. Not too many people, clearly. Let's talk about the Quake Champions thing real quick. Because that and the other thing are going to be really quick to talk about, and then we'll spend a lot of time on the two important things.
Right.
Okay. Quake Champions had this really weird, completely black and white for some reason,
hype
ad for it.
Right.
Like hype trailer, where it's just trying to be like community grassroots spirit sort of tone.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just like, Quake Champions is a great game for blah, 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 blah. And people are going to come together for the Quake World Championships on August 26th at QuakeCon with a $1 million prize. Quake, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then just fucking surreptitiously, they, as Easy Allies put it, shadow drop just BJ Blazkowicz is in Quake Champions.
Right.
Which was kind of funny because the guy is like, what is wrong with you freaks? He's just blowing people up.
Right.
Which is cool.
That's really cool. And all it really does is make me want Doom Guy.
Right. They need to do Doom Guy, definitely. Like, you can't do BJ Blazkowicz and not do Doom Guy.
Right? That's just be crazy.
You can't quip. That may be a problem.
No. It just isn't.
It may be a problem for them, is my point.
And his superpower needs to be, his melee just immediately make them explode.
Yes. No, that would be good. Does the full kill animation.
No, there's no time for that in Quake. It runs at 500% speed.
Yeah, okay, fair. We'll compromise. But I'm getting that animation. Otherwise, it's not the Doom Guy. It is not Doomslayer.
It's him shoving his foot through their head in such a small fraction of a second, you can't even tell what happened.
And you can see two more legs come out and keep walking. It's so fast that you have 3 legs for that short moment. And then the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind.
Why'd they show this? That game released like last week. It's out. It just is.
I don't know.
But anyway, there's also it's not on here for some reason, but the amiibo for Link works in the new Skyrim on Switch.
So that way you can get Link's Master Sword and other things.
In Tunic, and it looks all so terrible.
And it's hilarious.
Yes.
It's so funny. Real quick, with the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Did they not do that trailer where it was a bunch of YouTubers reacting to that game? Or a bunch of people reacting? I feel like that's the style that trailer was in. It was a bunch of people being like, whoa!
The trailer was literally people reacting to the CD trailer that was released months ago.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I don't know.
It was a bunch of YouTube reaction videos that just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Oh yeah, and this thing opened on freaking this weird hype video for their company where it was interviewing the kids of the different developers
and the families.
And the family.
It was like a wife, right?
I don't
like. My husband works at blah.
I don't remember seeing the wife. I thought it was just all their kids.
But yeah, it was family. It was family.
I'm talking about how it's just so great to work there, and it's a dream job.
It's a weird brainwashy video.
Yeah, it was super weird to open a conference on.
And then
it set a tone for everything that followed.
And then what followed, which we haven't mentioned at all, which is very important, they took the fucking Pep Boy aesthetic from Fallout 4 and built the whole thing around a theme park styled version of that.
Yeah.
It was the most ingratiating thing. It was just, I was so annoyed.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's like, but Fallout isn't even, you don't even have anything to talk about Fallout-wise. Why'd you do the entire conference like this?
Because it's the only thing our company is known for. We don't even know what this would look like if it was Skyrim styled.
Like, the whole thing is pre-recorded. They had one guy come out at the beginning, introduce the video. They played the video. The guy came out and then said, "Thanks for coming."
Yeah, which is really lame.
Yeah.
Presentation style-wise, that's fucking gay as shit. Like, at least Sony's just like boom, 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 and cuts to audience shots.
Right.
To show, like, there's something to that.
And there's people that showed up between them once in a while. There's
like Kojima, who outraces the light bridge.
Right.
It's like, nah, I wait for no one, man. I walk where there is no light. It's like, Kojima, you are taking this too seriously. Just admit you fucked up. And he's like, no. I will metaphor my way out of any mistakes I've ever made. Nanomachines.
Are nanomachines a metaphor?
I think he thinks they are.
Oh man, is Metal Gear Solid 4 woke?
Oh no. Oh no. No, God, stop. Woke of the Patriots. Oh man, I want somebody else to take over Metal Gear for Metal Gear Solid 6, and it's someone who just clearly has a deep love and incredibly bitter hatred of Kojima's writing.
Right.
So that way the direction it all takes is like Revengeance, but angry. Like the ending of Revengeance level of insane the whole way and stupid. But that's never going to happen. So let's talk about things that did happen, like The Evil Within 2, which had an insanely long CG trailer that was preempted with a huge exposition thing. I feel is huge. Like it was
probably only
like
a minute.
12 sentences.
Right.
Like these two characters going back and forth referencing super specific stuff about the first one. The only sentence you could understand, really, if you didn't play the first one was like, "You still haven't found your daughter. You have to get her." Right. And then they go into, "You have to go back into STEM." And I'm like, what the fuck's STEM? And
I betrayed you, but that's okay. All sorts of tons and tons of references to the first game.
And then CG trailer, which was bad. It was awful because it's like, it's not only just bad because it's like, oh, I'm the evil within. So the whole thing is, what's real? What isn't? What is there 1 second? We change the camera angle and then it's completely different. But on top of that, annoyingness of there's literally nothing but that in this trailer. It's not a style. It's not a universe he's stepping into. It's the whole fucking trailer.
Yeah. The only thing...
They have the worst thing in the world cut to it, which is the worst remix of Ordinary World humankind could offer. Ordinary World, a song by Duran Duran. Feel free to bring it up on YouTube, listen to the original, and then go fucking watch that trailer. But, like, they have a little girl off pitch, because it's creepy, singing Ordinary World, the first sentence, and then after that they cut to some edgy dude who's like speaking it through a radio filter, which makes him sound lo-fi, and it's piano at first, and then it kicks into grungy ass power chord guitars, right? And then he's screaming like Ordinary World.
When you told me that was that song, I didn't remember which song it was.
Bob didn't recognize it at all.
Yeah, no, I was like, I kind of recognize some of these words, but I had no idea what song that was. We went and listened to it. I was like, oh yeah, I do really like that song.
Yeah, that is probably my favorite Duran Duran song. I love that song.
That's so far removed. Why do you even remix? Why do you even pretend?
Great song.
I mean, people complained over the freaking Call of Duty reveal with
the David Bowie.
But that was recognizable,
Major Tom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was very much recognizable. Is the original song. It wasn't good, but it wasn't near this bad.
Yeah.
Dead Space did the same thing. I think it was 2, where they got I can feel in the air tonight, or
yeah, I can feel it calling in the air tonight.
Yeah.
Halo.
But God, that was terrible. I like that they had some sort of wax aesthetic to the trailer for parts, and some of that was neat, but other parts of it was just like, is this actually gonna be in the game at all?
No, the whole thing's cut not like a Shinji Mikami style thing, or even like an Evil Within style thing. It's cut like another fucking Bethesda CG trailer, where it's visuals over substance to the point of inanity. I hate it.
Yeah.
It's awful because it's like, oh man, here's a cool thing. Is it a metaphor? Nah, it's just a cool CG screaming face.
Yeah, we made this music video. Don't you like it?
We made the shitty music video.
We made the Zack Snyder music video. It was basically sandwiched between that and then gameplay at the end.
At the very end they do something that's like an eighth as long as the rest of it of gameplay.
Yeah.
And lots of cuts. Really dark for a lot of it.
Really
no HUD. It was insulting. And then they're like, later this year, October 13th. I'm like, are you fucking real? It doesn't mention Shinji Mikami at all, even though elsewhere it's been confirmed that he's directing it.
Right. Because of that leak. But yeah, I don't get it. Like,
I'm so pissed that he spent this long on an Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
What is this, 4 years?
Something like that.
5? That came out on PS4, right?
That was on PS4. It did that whole cross-gen launch thing, so it was very early.
So it must have been in the first year. So maybe it's only been 3 years. It just feels like it's been an eternity.
I feel like it might have launched the same year as Destiny.
Yeah, then that would have been 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh
but,
my God.
Yeah, it's been so long. And Evil Within is by no means like a universally loved IP.
No.
It is something that has a lot to prove. Like,
to people who didn't buy it.
Right.
That is the entire market. They cannot make a game that is focused solely on people who like the Evil Within. That isn't a sustainable group. And this fucking trailer did nothing to win over people who don't know anything about it.
Right. It did exactly the opposite of that and just dug in harder. And
which sucks because I want to like it. I like Shinji Mikami's games.
Yeah.
Bob, is there a Shinji Mikami game I don't like? It's Piano 3.
Yeah, Piano 3
But
is
aside
awful.
from Piano 3, which is just objectively a terrible game and no one's coming out to bat for it. Whereas I see people with Evil Within shirts at my job.
Freaking Huber from Easy Allies is crazy for that game.
I mean, you don't even have to put the for that game in there.
Yeah.
Huber's crazy. He's hype sick. He has hype sickness.
But yeah, I can't think of
madness.
Any other Shinji Mikami games like that are that bad. Like there's Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 4.
Huber Syndrome is just gonna be him eating a bar of soap, going insane over how hype he is. A delicious ice cream bar. They don't understand. Evil Within was a great game, and Evil Within 2 will be even better. How? Sorry, you were saying something?
Yeah.
The mental image has eradicated all memory of what he was saying.
I really hope that they change and fix a lot of things in that game. Because there's so much wrong with it. And it not being scary is a pretty high factor in that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not going to make it scary, at least make the gunplay better. Like, make it fun to play. Make it crazy.
Yeah, like
just
Resident Evil 4 or 5-ish.
Yeah, go crazy with that.
And then Bosman comes in and he's like, no, you're mad. You're mad, Huber. He's like, no, it's you. You're mad. Don't you realize that The Evil Within, a game that has a Metacritic of like 7, is one of the greatest games of this gen.
Maybe we can at least get this game running at a decent res.
You know, like anywhere near filling the screen.
Right?
But yeah,
it seems like they're just going to dig deeper into nothing's real. Don't even try and get attached to a single thing because it's all fake. It's like, okay, that's scary, I guess. I'm scared right now.
Yeah, there's not enough of a through line even through the things that aren't real to connect me to want to drive me towards the end of each segment.
Right.
Like, that's why that game didn't work for me at all. Like, you know, you're in the hospital and you're just kind of fucking around. And then eventually you get to the forest area, which, you know, is so disjointed from what you were just doing that it's like, oh, it's not real, but the last thing wasn't very real either. Oh, man, what's real? But there's no through line in the forest.
Yeah.
Just like there was no through line in the hospital, really.
It just seems like different places to wander around and not really know what you're doing.
It seemed like a not done game, honestly. That's how it came off as to me. It seemed like set pieces with no narrative reason.
Right, because even in freaking Resident Evil 4, you get like a codec call, and you know why you're here. You have any general idea of
but there was a cutscene on the way into the Evil Within. And it tried to contextualize it, and it did a really bad job.
Right.
It's not a simple enough goal. And I'm not saying games need to be stupid simple. Like, I like basically all of his games. Like, I love Vanquish. God Hand is amazing. More people need to admit that. They need to realize that they're dumb bitches, and that God Hand is great, and they're too shitty to enjoy it.
He should have, like, stealth made this God Hand too. Like, he sends all this promotional stuff to Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretending like, yeah, it's Evil Within 2. It's just going to be another horror game. It's schlocky.
Maybe it is God Hand 2.
And then like after 30 minutes, he puts down the gun and realizes he knows every kung fu move there is.
Especially the stupid ones.
Yes.
And he starts smacking demon hooker asses and sending them into space.
And then slowly, the enemies started being replaced with those weird, like, Power Ranger style villains that the Godhead had.
Yes.
We start seeing business meetings between the crazy arm lady and the pyramid head looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just becomes amazing.
It would be really great if they would let Shinji Mikami make a Shinji Mikami game.
Right. Instead, he's stuck here.
I don't know what he's fucking doing here. Get out.
Yeah, he made the studio.
He's gonna lose his fucking studio for this.
Right.
Oh my god.
They just have him so roped in on this.
Let's talk about Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
So Nazis took over America, and we're going to America, and we're gonna help start the second American Revolution against the Nazis.
So I guess your character passed out again.
Yeah, he was in a coma again.
Great.
And then he comes back, and that chick's pregnant.
All right.
He's gonna be a dad. And this game comes out October 27th. Now, I know people like Mr. Feel, who we follow on Twitter, and other people like Wolfenstein.
Right. I think we already went over just like yesterday how much I don't like Wolfenstein.
Yeah, and I don't believe I have any particular attachment. I don't think at any point I've ever... I liked it more than you.
Right.
I liked a lot of the style choices it made, for sure. Like, there are some metal fucking things going on in that game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm not gonna be upset about that stuff.
But I just kind of wish it had a tighter experience.
Right.
Because at a certain point, it felt like you could feel the decline from a tight experience with very designed areas and a level into less so. And then you hit the hub right after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the machine game style. Like, that's what Riddick was as well. Like,
really?
Oh man, this is really neat. And then it starts just getting more and more open, and then I stopped playing.
So
it was very much the same thing you want to show.
It's the system.
Yeah,
cool.
And that's what people love him for, I guess.
That's weird,
right?
Because I really enjoyed the battle against the Liger-looking fucker, where you had this huge battleground you were fighting it in, and there were like 4 different areas you could run between with trenches and stuff. Like, that was really cool. And then right after that is when it started to really decline into, like, you're now in Germany and going through this facility. It just felt kind of like nothing about this is really compelling to me. But yeah.
And I think that stems from the gameplay itself not being great.
Yeah.
Like, if there was really good gameplay, having less interesting things to do, I feel like I'd be able to push through it. But
I mean, yeah, that's the difference between Doom and everything else.
Right.
Like, Doom has really different feel and really good feel.
It does.
It's like Overwatch as a single player shooter. Like, you know how every Overwatch character feels like really nice.
Right.
And different. I feel like that's kind of like what Doom does. Where Doom's like, I could be like the best Overwatch character. I could be Doomfist. You don't know. Takes off helmet. It's me, Terry Crews. Thank God I escaped Crackdown 3. But yeah, we're not exactly hyped about it. I'm sure we'll check it out.
Yeah,
play it.
Yeah, we'll see how it is.
Maybe we'll even do a quick play. Did we do a quick play the first one? I don't think we did.
Probably not.
We're really bad about that.
But we the trailer had some neat Some of the cutscene stuff they showed was cool. Other
like
parts,
narrative ideas.
Yeah, other parts felt like they were too jarringly cut together and didn't really.
I feel like the whole trailer feels terribly edited.
Yeah,
like they wanted to fit a ton of story beats in and some gameplay too.
Yeah, and
it's so much.
How were they so bad at making trailers over there?
I don't know.
Like the thing it ended on was really neat. Just how the part where the guy drops acid. And then see some real cartoon character.
That was amazingly better than the entire rest of the Bethesda conference.
Right.
Because basically this pregnant woman and this other guy are going to bust up some fucking Nazis. And while she's properly killing a goddamn Nazi, he's dropping acid and like sees a cartoon newt or whatever start chirping and making sound. And he's like, quiet, buddy. These are Nazis. We gotta protect you. It was like, thank you. My God, if the game just had writing like this the whole way through, that would do it for me. Which the first one had pretty good writing up front.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of like eased out into a very expanded experience. Dan loves his expanded experiences. Yeah, in any case.
So we're going to rank this one?
Oh, man.
For me, this is straight below Microsoft.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely below Microsoft.
It's not EA bad. So, like I said,
it almost is.
It is really close, which is so sad.
If it just had more people talking on stage about literally nothing.
Right, because EA's was full of that. And those guys in blazers, screw them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they announced that Prison Break game, which was way more interesting announcement than anything here.
I agree with that because I didn't want an Evil Within 2. It being announced is frustrating, but at least it's closure. Wolfenstein 2 was inevitable, and I'm not exactly jonesing for it, but these are both games and games that are coming out.
These are both sequels, too.
Yeah, just sequels.
Cynical, like
cynical moves, like very Bethesda-like moves.
Evil Within 2, like what the heck? You have him contract to make a horror game. I get that. Make him not make that.
Yeah, make him make another fucking horror game.
Yeah.
Look at your statistics for how much you sold and how long people played it. We know you have those. You have trophy data.
Right.
No one played that game.
Yeah.
I guarantee we played farther than at least 20% of people.
Yeah, there's just so much. Even in that, we got she was like, I probably would have put this down if I didn't think we were going to do a video.
Well, yeah. Didn't we just record us playing through it? Like a huge chunk of it?
Did we?
I think we recorded like 2 quick plays. And it was about an hour total.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird GigaBoots video, but you know, I felt like we knew by that point we weren't going to come back to play more after we had played how much we wanted to play.
Right.
Like we knew we needed to just do that quick play then.
Yeah, because that was not even that long into it, and it was already like, oh man,
it was like 2 hours.
This is not
an hour and a half. And yeah, like the farthest point we got to was maybe 3 to 4 hours. In any case, yeah, I put this above EA. I hate that though. There should be more conferences out ahead of this so I could put it below second place because fuck them. They don't deserve that even for a second.
Well, it's okay. We have Devolver Digital.
Oh, hey, let's talk about Devolver Digital. That was an insane goddamn satire of an E3 conference.
Yes, which is beautiful.
So the structure, ladies and gentlemen, was they had a pre-show, which was a live set with clear actors being insane. Like the worst E3 host in the world does a little like screaming at his guests and other things. And then at some point he's like, oh, looks like we're ready to go to the conference. Okay, here we go. And he just screams that he tries to drink some coffee and he spills it on the laptop or whatever. And then it plays a video, and the video is supposedly E3 conference. And they have just studio audience stock footage they keep cutting to while really fucked up things keep happening on stage. And they announce what? 2 games?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
1 game?
I think there were 2. There was a Serious Sam one, and then there was the one before that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of the one before that, but it actually looked really, really good. So I feel bad.
Right.
Yeah, it was the twin stick shooter that actually looked like it had interesting mechanics like chain lightning and shoulder dash shit. And yeah, it looked legitimately good. And their trailer cutting is top fucking notch. Devolver Digital is fucking inspirational with how good they are at cutting trailers.
Yeah, coming right off the Bethesda conference of that was like, whoa.
I know, jarring as fuck.
Right.
Because the Bethesda conference was terribly edited. Yeah, and then, like, honestly, Devolver does some of the best trailers in the industry.
Yeah, when they show up at Sony's event, those trailers fit in fine.
Yeah, just think about, like, Luftrausers or, like, fucking Broforce. Any of those trailers,
like the trailer
Hotline
for
Miami,
that one where you have to kill a gun that can kill
a
time.
gun strong enough to kill time. Yeah, that was Enter the Gungeon, right?
Yes, and that's amazing.
Yeah, they know what's great about the games they picked up. That's the sign of a good publisher.
Right?
Like they know exactly what that game is. They know who it appeals to. They know why they like it, and then they make a shit kicking goddamn fucking awesome trailer. But in any case, they only announced 2 games during this E3 thing, and they like murdered people.
Right?
It was amazing satire as the person on stage fires a gun into the air, and the audience applauds for no reason, and they get angry and they keep firing the gun. It was incredible.
Yeah, all I can say is go watch it. Like, if you watched even a little bit of an E3 before, you should fully understand what they're doing and why it's amazing.
Yeah, because it's like, I never realized I wanted someone out there to make E3 satire. I've pitched in our group what E3 satire would be.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked many times about making fake press conferences and that sort of thing, but
they actually did it, and they're a game publisher.
Right, so they actually streamed it on Twitch, the same place as all these other real conferences are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
it was good.
Okay, so then they get out of the scripted, like, pre-recorded thing. And they get back to the pre-show, which is still called the pre-show, even though it was a post-show at that point. And the actors / YouTubers / personalities there continue to just scream.
Right.
They're trying to improv comedy, and they're just yelling because they're bad at it. And they show off a few games. One game was not a game, and it was like a prototype for Hotline Miami called Project
Richter, I think?
Yeah, Project Richter. Where the idea was, what if we didn't make the Hotline Miami levels? What if they were procedurally generated? And yeah, it's as much of a nightmare as you would imagine from that.
Right.
But it doesn't keep resetting the level design every time you die, which is what I figured.
Yeah, instead it's, you can reload it. Because it obviously isn't done. Like, it's not in a state where it was meant to get to. And
I don't think they plan on doing that.
Right.
But they might. Who knows? They didn't tell us. They had a bunch of improv kids screaming on stage. And a YouTuber. I looked her up.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
It's hilarious.
I was like, who are these assholes?
Because they also do cut to YouTubers for other things. Like, clearly they got pre-recorded things.
During the fucking pre-recorded thing, they cut to YouTubers, like famous YouTubers, and Jessica Chobot, who might be considered a famous YouTuber, to react to how bored they are of this terrible conference. It is so good.
It is.
Go watch the fucking Digital Devolver conference. It has to be somewhere on the internet.
Devolver Digital.
Did I say Digital Devolver?
Yeah.
Yeah. But go look it up. They showed off 2 actual games outside of that.
One was Frog Smasher.
One of them is Frog Smasher, which is you play as frogs. You could either use your tongue to lick your opponent, and that will do a thing, or you can hit them with a bat, and the whole idea is to knock them off screen.
Yeah, it's kind of like Smash, yeah.
That looked pretty cool, but they were really bad at games.
Right?
Seemed like that was
naturally so.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a real mistake to stick these people on the stage to play these games and show them off, because most of what they did was scream and pretend it was comedy. It was funny occasionally, but then it was just nightmarishly bad past a certain point.
Right. When they were still switching between different games, I think they kept it paced pretty well, and it was kind of funny. But yeah, once they started to just keep replaying the same level on Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that got so bad.
But the third thing, not Hotline Miami, Project Richter, or Frog Smasher, was this crazy thing that was like WarioWare kind of. Only instead of playing a pre-scripted 10 second long thing, and that was how completely original, you were jumping between classic vintage arcade games.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, it was like, oh, now you're going to play 10 seconds of this game by Bally Midway from 1994 or 1987 and 1985. And it would pop up on screen, the name of it, like who made it and when. And it just kept going, and it would keep track of player 1 and player 2 and how many points they had. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. I really don't care if they would even want to charge $20. Like, that's just such a neat idea. I want to throw money at it so that way, hopefully in the future, they or someone else do that with something else. Like, Nintendo could do a thing like that. It would be absolutely top-notch incredible.
Right, like, it's kind of like NES Remix, but good.
Yeah. NES Remix is mostly bad because it has a huge amount of latency.
Yeah.
And the way it unlocks things when you beat things is terribly long.
Right.
Like, unless you're really shitty at old games, you'll spend most of your time just watching it unlock shit. It's bad. In any case, well, yeah, that game was really cool. And we need to look it up to see if maybe somebody has written the name of it somewhere.
Yeah, because they didn't say at all what that thing was called.
Because they were insane.
Right.
The people running the pre-show were crazier than the recorded thing in a way. I mean, one of them said, so how long does this go on for? Does it go on until I die in real life? Right. Talking about Frog Smasher. And he's like, yes, this is purgatory.
Yeah.
Which was really funny.
I have to wonder if some of those people are actual people who work at Devolver Digital.
The chick who said that does not work at Devolver Digital. She is a YouTuber.
Right.
She was probably one of the funnier people, but the main host guy was really not funny, I think.
Yeah, he really tried to force it.
Yeah, he was super yelling and angry. And now, I haven't frequented an improv comedy. I haven't even stepped into anything that was associated with improv comedy in over 10 years. But even having done that and seen those scrub lords back then attempt what they call comedy, I know for a fact that is that exact type of person. Where they're like, if I yell it, it'll be way funnier.
Right.
Like, no, that's not how that works. What you're yelling is just as important. If not infinitely more so. So, yeah, he's bad. And he's somebody you can hire to do your stuff. His Twitter profile says so. Feel free to get him to go ruin your fake press conference.
I know we will.
Yeah. Why wouldn't we?
Why not?
I just remembered our idea of scripted commentary tracks.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It's a really good idea. Why did I just throw that out here? Now no one will be amazed when I announce it.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna listen to this.
Oh, it's true. It's true. We're in the middle of E3. We're talking about the Devolver Digital conference. No one will find this. I can mention anything, including where I hid my gold. GigaBoots has been brought to you by the remarkable generosity of Nicholas Cameron and Vincent Pover. And Cywolf. Go to patreon.com/gigaboots and support GigaBoots today.